It's time to get inside the Giants Huddle.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
On Giants.com.
I like it, I like it.
And the Giants mobile app.
Boom, give me some juice.
Part of the Giants Podcast Network.
Let's roll.
Welcome to the Giants Huddle podcast, brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Football Giants. It's our Giants Huddle rapid reaction after the Week 8 loss to the Jets. In overtime, 13-10 was the final score. I'm Madelyn Burke along with Howard Cross here. And Howard, when you look at this game, the way it all came down, it was just a tough finish, right? The Giants are up 10-7. They've got the ball. Graham Gano misses a 35-yard field goal. The Jets get control. They come back down the field, tie it up, send it to overtime, and then kick a field goal to win this game. The way that this one ended was a bit deflating, and you could tell by the way that these players spoke about it in the locker room afterwards.
Yeah, it's deflating. You know, you don't want to lose a game. It's hard to lose a game if you get blown out. It's really hard to lose a game when you're close. You have all these opportunities to be in it and win it. I'd like to applaud the Giants because coming in with your third string quarterback, Tommy DeVito. Sorry, that's Dan DeVito. It's pretty funny. Tommy DeVito, and Tommy's not only, kind of coming off the practice squad. He's like, someone's asked me after the game that they showed we do after. They said, "Do you think that he was prepared to play?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "How is he prepared to play?" I'm like, I said, "He's in every meeting with the Dan and Tyrod. He's does all the drills. He knows everything that they know. So he just doesn't get a chance to put it into action in games. So that's the thing he has to worry about. Today he had a chance to. He did what he had to do."
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, Tyrod Taylor, of course, went down with an injury. He had a rib injury in the second quarter, was taken off the field, ended up going to the hospital for further evaluation. So we're wishing Tyrod all the best and a speedy recovery there. But Tommy DeVito comes in. Don Bosco's very own Tommy DeVito becomes just the second New Jersey-born quarterback to score a touchdown for the Giants in franchise history with, of course, his 6-yard rushing touchdown in the third quarter to give the Giants a 10-7 lead. But you mentioned, yes, Tommy's in those meetings. He's getting those mental reps, but Tyrod Taylor's getting the majority of the physical reps in the practices. So for him to come out on the field and execute the way that he did on a rainy, wet afternoon here at MetLife Stadium, of course, running the ball was the priority regardless. Brian Dable talked about that in his post-game press conference, saying that, the priority was to play a little old-school football. They had 203 rushing yards on the day, and you think when you finish a game with 200 rushing yards, that's usually a W. They had -9 passing yards, though. No turnovers. Saquon Barkley eclipses 100 rushing yards, 128 rushing yards to be exact, on 36 attempts, the most attempts in his career. Getting the run game going with that much success, and especially with the third-string quarterback, you could see Saquon Barkley especially galvanizing this offense in the second half.
Yeah, I think, when you get that much success, it's because you keep hitting the rock over and over and over. You keep going back to the well over and over and over. And I think people have to realize that, if you rush it 20 times and you have those kind of numbers, it's great. When you go over 30 times, you're expected to get over 200 yards, which means that they were not abandoning the pass, but they were like putting all their emphasis on the run. And Saquon, made some plays. He made some big plays. He even said that on that last play that he ran the ball, if he had just, kept pressing and driving his legs, he would have got a first down. He could have maybe even scored. So, we were saying that maybe he should have kept it outside. I'm like, if he kept it straight up and just runs, he runs through the guys because they're just not near him. He kind of goes down at that point. And I think that guys are so ingrained with, hey, just slide, we don't leave any time on the clock. It's more important to get the first down every time you get a chance.
Absolutely. And, of course, a tough one for Graham Gano today. He makes a field goal in the first quarter, but misses 2, including a 35-yarder at the end of the game to kind of lock it up. And he spoke about this after the game, saying, yes, I am dealing with a little bit of a knee issue and whatnot, but that's not why. He just said, I just played a bad game today, and he wants to get, needs to get better. The Giants' defense, though, did put this team in a good position. From the start, the opening drive, Kayvon Thibodeau gets a sack, a forced fumble. Jihad Ward picks up the ball, scoops it up, puts them within the red zone. They're at the 19 to start the game. They had to settle for a field goal there. But the defense was really pivotal in this one, keeping them in the game, especially Kayvon Thibodeau finishing with 3 sacks. He's got 8.5 sacks over the last 6 games, Howard.
I think, he is an impact player. We've heard it in the news and on the radio that maybe he was an impact player. He doesn't bring in, that kind of thing. He was a finisher today. He did everything he was supposed to do. Just so happens that they had one more drive, and that one drive broke them.
You're ready for a change. Payday comes early with Citizens, so go to that retreat. New you moves to the country. Now you're raising goats and launching a lifestyle brand. Are you ready for all that life brings?
Absolutely. The important drive right there as well. When you look at the way that this game kind of panned out as well, it's a game that was kind of a gritty, messy, wet game. To lose a game like this for this Giants team, especially at this point in the season, week 8, you had it within grasp. How do they kind of keep their head above water? How do they keep this focus heading to Las Vegas next week?
Well, they're going to Vegas next week. They get to build on some things. Vegas is going to come off a short week. They're going to have a chance for the defense to even get more sacks, more plays. They do have a good run game, Vegas, but if they can shut it down like they did the Jets run game today, they'll have a chance to maybe even win the game defensively. As far as the offense goes, you just got to hope more guys keep coming back from the offensive line. They got to keep figuring it out. They got to figure out, are they going to get Neal back? Are they going to get Thomas back? Once they get Thomas and Neal back and they kind of put everybody kind of intact, then they can have a better run at it and have a chance to finish the season strong. As far as Gano goes, you have to realize, as partially as it is, Gano did miss the kicks, but the first one was kind of a dribble snap that throws off his timing. The last one, the guy jumps over the center. I don't know if that's even legal anymore, but he jumps over the center right in the line of sight. If he kicks it at between the uprights, it could be returned for a touchdown, kind of like in the Dallas game. So I don't know what he can do. He's saying that it's him, but, that's not him.
Yeah, there's a lot of situational things to take into consideration there as well when you're looking at what happened with this one. Of course, the rain coming down here, it pouring at MetLife Stadium. Classic Jets-Giants matchup right here. The Jets get the win in this one, 13-10 in overtime. And, when you've got a lot of questions around Tyrod Taylor's health, a lot of questions around Daniel Jones' health, you mentioned getting players back in and healthy. John Michael Schmitz returning at center in this game, which was helpful. You want to see that because the Raiders also have questions about who's going to be the quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo is banged up and all that. When you prepare for a team with a quarterback that you haven't seen before or haven't seen much from before, can you find an edge there?
I think you can find an edge. I think what you do automatically is you shut down their run. If you shut down their run immediately and cause him to have to throw, it's not so much you not seeing him, it's what he hasn't seen from you. The wing does a great job of bringing pressure from all different sides, from different people, from different areas on the field. So that can be a problem for a quarterback. And if you're not used to, getting pressured a lot, and seeing a lot of different looks from a lot of different people, that could be a problem for you. So expect the quarterback, whoever it may be, to catch a lot of grief from Wink in his pressure package.
You love turf. You're good at it. So you start a turf biz. Business grows, your savings grow. Become the most celebrated name in turf. Are you ready for all that life brings?
Absolutely. The Giants defense continues to put pressure on the quarterback, as we saw once again today, as the Giants look ahead for week 9 in Las Vegas, 4:25 kickoff against the Raiders. Giants fall to 2-6 after the overtime loss to the Jets, 13-10 at MetLife Stadium. When you look at this one, when you're going to look back on this one, Howard, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are going to be, look, there was a couple times that we went for field goals, and I don't know. I was hoping that we were going to make them, but I was so worried that we're not going to be able to. I just don't have a lot of confidence right now in our special team units. We're not covering. We're covering well, but we're not kicking the ball well, and we're not, how do I say politely, we're not blocking the punt protection well. So somewhere down the line, that's going to come back to haunt us. The field goals haunted us today. The punts could haunt us, next week or so, because people are putting that on film. Defensively, we look great. I think we're getting stronger. Banks, again, putting an incredible performance. Just one, and it's so funny, the Jets had so many penalties, but we had the ones that, counted the most at the end of the game. And offensively, they're going to have to find some way to continue to run the ball. Saquon's going to have to get some super healing serum somewhere to feel better, because he's going to get a lot of work over these next few weeks.
Absolutely. Of course, penalties. You mentioned Jets had 9 penalties for 85 yards. The Giants had 6 for 73. A couple costly ones down the stretch, though, of course, including that pass interference one that set the Jets up for the game-winning field goal as they won this one in overtime, 13-10. Again, as I mentioned, the Raiders, though, will be on a short week. They play Monday Night Football before heading back to Las Vegas to take on the Giants next week, week 9. So we'll see that one, and we'll continue to cover that. We'll look back at this one and look ahead to the Raiders-Giants game on all the Giants podcast platforms. Thanks so much for watching or listening to the Giants Huddle Rapid Reaction with Howard Cross and Madelyn Burke here. Huddle, of course, brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants. From game day to every day, Citizens is made ready for Giants fans with insights, guidance, and solutions. Learn more at citizensbank.com.